What is happening, guys? Mathematicians back again. You know where we are, so let's get into it. So guys, I'm touching base with you in respect of these two fragrances. There's been a lot of hype on Facebook, YouTube, you name it. You know, there's been a lot of talk in the background about what's going on with this fragrance. I've seen so many new YouTubers on here as well talking about this fragrance, which is probably a good thing. And on top of that, guys, a lot of you guys seem to like this one. As you do know, this is warm black and no, not even warm black anything. This is warm black from Zara. Forgive the washing going on in the background. It's reality. But ultimately though, guys, I mean, this is not a bad fragrance. As I've said before, it is a little bit synthetic in the opening. You get this little bit of an alcoholic sort of, how could I say, bit of an alcoholic sort of note as well. But at the end of the day, guys, for what it was, I think it was only $10.99 in the UK. It's not a bad fragrance. Now, I did say, and I had some suspicions, that this one came out, again, I want to say 2019. I'll have a quick look. I believe it was 2019 when this one came out. I'm correct, and this one is unexpected, fresh and spicy. A lot of you guys like this one. A lot of you guys mentioned that this is one of your top 2019 fragrances, and there was a lot of a comparison between Thierry Mugler for Pure Havane with this type of, how could I say, like a tobacco, cherry, even cognac sort of note going on in there, which I believe, and I do pick up on that as well. It's not as rich, it's not as long lasting, but I did get that vibe. Some ladies said they felt it was slightly more of an old man's fragrance. Some ladies said they didn't particularly like it, but you do get that sort of like pipe smoking sort of jacket sort of vibe going on with this particular fragrance. However, this is the new release from 2020, and my question really was, are these two fragrances exactly the same, basically just in different bottles? Maybe Zara sort of gave it away a little bit with this, but nonetheless, you know, that's how they like to do it. That's how I like to do it. So I looked on Fragrantica, guys, and according to the Fragrantica, the note breakdown on this one from Warm Black is saying that it's got ginger in the top notes, vanilla in the mids, and then in the base it's saying that it's got some tonka bean. However, for the tobacco collection, for this unexpected fresh and spicy, it's saying that it has some cinnamon, some cardamom, not cardamom, sorry, some bergamot, some cognac in the top, and then in the mid is getting this pipe note with this, I believe it's like a violet leaf, with some patchouli, and in the base we've got again the vanilla, we got the tonka, we got the sandalwood, and then also as a final point we've got this sort of benzoin sort of smell. So I know that Zara don't put all of the particular ingredients onto their particular how could I say, onto their particular website. I know for Fragrantica sometimes they'll have like certain notes which they suggest, or people sort of suggest seem to be in it. So it's really hard to tell sometimes. Now, having sprayed this, if we just give this one a spray, again, first impressions, I have a sneaking suspicion that there is a slight variation, but I just want to check now, fresh on camera, and go from there. Okay, my thoughts on this, guys. I want to say they're the same. I believe, I don't know, I don't want to sort of, I think sometimes these fragrance guys, sometimes we can try and over scrutinize to a point that we try to find something which isn't there, like the King's New Clothes. I want to say this has got slightly more of a cognac note in it than this one. I'm still picking up the vanilla, I'm still getting the tonka bean, I'm still getting this type of tobacco note, which is the key thing. This one is slightly, and again, there's a cherry note between the two of them. This one, unless it's because I'm wearing, all I'm going to say, guys, this one seems to go slightly more on the sweeter side than this one. This one seems to be slightly more, how could I say, reserved, slightly more masculine. This one seems to be slightly heavier when it comes to the tobacco note. This one seems to be slightly more on the spicier note, slightly more on the cherry note, slightly more on a slightly sweeter note. Don't get me wrong, it's not exactly like for like. Whoa, what's going on with these flies? It's not exactly like for like when it comes to the tobacco as well, from the smell of it. It does smells like this one's slightly more base heavy as what I would say, while this one seems to be slightly more of a fresher type of fragrance, if that makes sense. It's not necessarily, don't get me wrong, it's still tobacco, it's still got the cognac in there as well, so it's a little bit of a boozy sort of fragrance. I say Pure Havane, Thierry Mugler, so try and think of it that way. But this one seems to be slightly heavier from my initial first impressions. I'm still getting a spicy note in there more in the opening, but this one seems to last long with the spicy, and even probably slightly more woodsy as well, I'll say in this one. And when I say woodsy, imagine like a like a sort of firewood type of smell is what I'm picking up on. While this one seems to be slightly more of like a cedar wood, probably like a deeper type of wood. So to be honest, guys, in a way, I think if you were to have these two side to side, I think you could even say that this is probably going to be the daytime, this is going to be the evening. This is the daytime casual, this is the evening date scent, is what I would say. This is definitely a winter one. This one you could wear in winter, but I think you'd be okay in the autumn. This is like a deep winter fragrance. And I've said it before, some of you guys don't seem to really, I don't know why, some of you guys seem to, I don't know. If you don't take my view for it, by all means, that's fine. Go and check other YouTubers. But I'm saying that this is a winter fragrance. You cannot wear this. Will be too much to wear this in the high heat. So realistically, for me, this is beast mode when it comes to wearing this even now. This is just too much. I couldn't spray a lot of this one. I'd be choking myself. It'd just be too much. It'd just be too much. Just let it go. Just let it go. It's a winter fragrance. Accept it's a winter fragrance. Accept it's a winter fragrance. It's just been released at a time which for some reason is not in winter. I don't know why. This one, however, again, this one is saying is fresh, spicy, and I believe this one is actually spicy. It just smells a little bit lighter is what I'd say. So I think, to be honest, if these were side by side and you just sprayed it, maybe for the untrained nose, maybe people wouldn't really pick up on any difference. But for me, guys, this one's a little bit lighter. This one's a little bit more, how could I say, a little bit more, it's not too far down the road. So this is probably maybe a little bit more pleasant, I would say, for people who like a little bit more of a sort of mid-range, not too offensive, a little bit more of a, I've got something, it's nice, yeah, it smells a certain way, but don't feel like, you know, I'm not versatile. This one smells a little bit more versatile, while this one smells a little bit more, I'm here, I'm solid, this is it, this is what you're getting, bold, and I'm in your face. While this one seems to be a little bit more of a sort of like a crowd pleaser, I would have thought, compared to this one. This one, you need to have a particular set of circumstances that I would say to wear it, because it's quite a bold fragrance, quite a heavy fragrance. I think it's a good fragrance, and I'm getting a nice sort of sweet tonka bean note as well from it, but I think it's a very heavy fragrance, and I think you could really sort of overdo it on the trigger. While as this one, again, probably not of a younger man sort of fragrance, probably slightly more, as I say, like an older, probably going into your 30s sort of fragrance, maybe late 20s, you could wear this one. This one smells slightly more of an older fragrance, and I think the reason why I'm saying that is because this is going to be definitely slightly more for the lighter sort of daytime stuff, maybe autumn. This is definitely a winter fragrance, guys. So side by side, in all honesty, guys, if I was to pick one, I'm going to go with this one. And the only reason why I'm saying is that now is because probably on the climate I'm in right now, it's too real. It's not really easy to really determine if this is appropriate to even wear this now. But at the same time, I think this is well made in comparison to some of the previous releases that Zara have done. I think it's a good fragrance. But again, if you're not into your spicy tobacco fragrances, this is going to be too much. It's too extreme. If you sort of like get in there slightly, you know, by all means, go and check this one out. But if you're really enjoying these fragrances, I would say definitely go and check out Thierry Mugler's Pure Havana, because that one, it gives you the sort of the woodsy note, it gives you the tobacco note, and you get this rum sort of note as well going on, and it smells really nice, guys. I've had a lot of compliments wearing that one. And again, for these, I've actually, as I say, I've done a review with, I think, Joanna, I think, on one of the fragrance reviews. Go and check out the video, guys. She did actually say that she didn't particularly like this one after the video, and this she felt it was like slightly more like an old man's fragrance, which I understand. Whereas this one, again, we've seen the recent reviews. So hopefully, guys, that's saved you some time and some money. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Leave your comments down below, and I'll see you on the next video. Ciao.